Self-care is so important. It's so critical in our health journey. And I looked it up here. The World Health Organization, or WHO, it defines self-care as the ability of an individual to promote and maintain health, to prevent disease, and to cope with illness and disability with or without the support of a healthcare provider. So there's actually 7 different forms of self-care. So I wanted to go over them with you and tell you who really needs these different forms of self-care and how to implement them. So the first one I wanted to talk about is emotional self-care. That's the actions that we take to connect with our emotions and process them in a healthy way. This is especially important for somebody that has difficulty controlling their emotions, or they're easily affected by other people's negative moods, or they struggle to cope with their feelings of shame or guilt, embarrassment, jealousy or anger, or if they're generally feeling unworthy. There's a couple different ways that you can implement emotional self-care. You can journal, and that's writing down your feelings, your thoughts, or just how the day went. And that's so that you can go back to it later and look at it and have a different way of processing it. You could be talking to your health coach or your life coach. You could talk to your therapist, your spiritual mentor, or some other counselor. Utilizing affirmations or mantras is something that a lot of people do. And you need to have that, of course, that's in a positive state. And it's to support you. You could meditate. I meditate every morning. I missed one morning and it really changed the day. So meditation is actually really important. And practicing gratitude. Practicing gratitude is really important because you can't have a negative emotion or be in a negative state if you're practicing gratitude. So the gratitude is a happier, lighter, more positive feeling. So that's what I go with. The next one I wanted to talk about is physical self-care. Now, a lot of people think that physical self-care is, oh, I'm working out. Well, yes and no. So physical self-care is activities that you deliberately do to enhance your physical well-being. And this is really good for your mental health. It's really good for keeping you focused and energized. But now it's going to depend on what your lifestyle is. So if you have a desk job, if you're sitting at your desk all day, your physical activity for self-care could be walking your dog at the end of the day. If you have a construction job where you're very physical all day, then for you, it might be a relaxing yoga session that's good for your body, or a stretch. Other activities that you could be doing are, walking, going for a bike ride, going for a hike, taking a fitness class. You could be taking a nice relaxing bath or hot tub session or jacuzzi at the end of the day. I personally love dancing to my favorite music. I'm in my living room. No one's seeing me. I'm just relaxing and enjoying, and I love it. It's fun. You could be getting a massage, which I love those as well. You could take a nap. Take a 20-minute nap. Set your alarm and take a nap. And that's really good for your physical self-care. Then mental self-care. A lot of people have been talking about mental health. And so these are different things that you can do to stimulate your mind and to cultivate that healthy psyche that you want. This is you ever have trouble getting out of bed? Not that you're super tired, but that you really just don't want to get out of bed, start your day, or at the end of the day, your brain is just kind of mush and you don't want to think about anything. This is where you're going to need some really thought out mental self-care. Some things that you could do, you could listen to a podcast, you could pick up a new hobby. Some people find going to a museum is really good. You could read a book or writing. Writing again is very, very good. So, but writing on this one could be poetry, could be journaling, or just streaming out all your thoughts. Just get them out onto paper. It's a way to manage your thoughts. And when you have that written down and you can see it on a different day, you'll be able to see boundaries that you need to set with your friends or your family, or even with work. So those boundaries are actually really, really good to keep your mental self-care in check. Another thing that you could do is recognize that you need to reach out for professional help. Mental self-care is it's stimulating, it's nurturing, and it's listening to your brain. So there's some things there for mental self-care. This one I love, social self-care. Humans are social beings. We thrive on connection with other human beings. So social self-care is it's activities that nurture our relationship with others, and it's critical. Problem is often when we get really busy or really hectic, we want to cocoon and keep in and not go out. We want to cancel plans. Now, sometimes that is good. Okay, sometimes you do need to do that for your self-care. But keep in mind, like really look at that. Is that really when you need to push to get out? You need to go out and have that connection with other people. We need that social interaction. And then if you live alone, or if you really, really thrive on the energy of in-person communication, you need to put some extra time into that social care. And I want you to remember that socializing with others, even when we're super busy, it's not a privilege. It's a necessity. You need to do that. So examples of self-care is scheduling a regular check-in call with your mom, hosting a game night with your friends, going out for dinner with your friends. You could be cuddling with your furry friend. I cuddle with Puppy Girl often, several times a day, actually. You could write a card, let's say, write a card to a family member or shut-in or veteran. That's another way to have a connection. Social connections is really good. Now, here's something else I want you to think about. Social self-care often means that you're spending time with other people. Sometimes it means the opposite. So give some thought to which relationships are no longer serving you in your life. If there's anyone you find to be draining to you, whether it be family or friend, it may be time to part ways or limit your connection with them, limit your time with them. That's taking care of you, because your relationships should be uplifting and fulfill you, not drain you and deflate you. The next one I wanted to talk about is spiritual self-care. And don't get me wrong, spiritual and religious, they're two different things, okay? Spiritual self-care, it encompasses any activities you engage in to connect with and nurture your soul. And that's anything to honor a belief in a higher power, whatever that is for you, God, universe, whatever guides you. It's a great tool. This spiritual self-care is a great tool for anybody. Doesn't matter if you're religious, agnostic, whatever. It's something that if you're needing to feel that grounding every day, or It can provide comfort to those dealing with grief and loss, medical or financial uncertainty, or any of those stressful life curveballs. Examples that you could use for spiritual self-care are going out in nature. You could engage in prayer or go to a worship service. You could do yoga. You could volunteer for a cause that lights you up. And you could do a vision board. Some people do vision boards. Just find something that lights you up and inspires you. This is something that's it's a daily spiritual practice. Make it part of your routine. And if you're doing it at home, designate a peaceful, quiet area of your home to do this, okay? Try to avoid social media first thing in the morning, and you'll use soul affirming mantras. That's a good way to ease into your successful day. I would love you to practice self-care. This is any actions to take you to any actions you take to fill your core needs and reduce your stress. That's what practical self-care is. And this could be helpful for students or young professionals, but also for caregivers or stay-at-home parents, or just anybody that's trying to stay organized. So examples of practical self-care are, you could organize your email inbox. I'm working on that daily. You could tidy up your living space. So the more organized it is, the less that you need to be thinking about all these different things. You could meet with a financial advisor. Set out your clothes for the week ahead of time, or do some meal planning. Just little tiny steps in order to give you practical care and get you feeling more organized. And yeah, declutter your surroundings, your car, your office, your living space. Just tidy it up a little bit. It makes a world of difference. Then there's professional self-care. And these are activities or actions that that support feeling balanced and fulfilled in your career. This is really, really good for someone that is feeling stressed at their job, or a manager that's trying to uplift and support their staff. Even if you don't find your job stressful, but you're going there a lot of hours, like it's very demanding on your hours, these things are going to be really helpful for you too. So examples of professional self-care are set up calendar reminders to take a lunch break away from your desk, or at least turn the computer off. It gives your body able to relax and downtime and digest your food, and you'll come back to work more energized and ready to go. You can set up time to spend with your coworkers after hours. This is really good for building up that team spirit, as well as helping you. Now, setting your phone on do not disturb at the end of the day, at the end of the workday. That's another thing that you can do. And you could take courses or attend webinars or meet with a mentor to develop your skills in your chosen career. You could take a mental health day or sick day when you need it. Seriously, take it. It's good for you. And set your boundaries at work. It's critical for your mental and physical well-being. It'll help you achieve that healthier work and life balance. It's really good. It's going to be able to help you focus at work, on work, and focus at home when you're home. I would love to hear which of these you're going to implement. Don't do them all at once because it's just too much for the brain. Pick one or two and implement them. Be consistent. Be gentle and kind to yourself, and just be curious. Let me know which ones are you going to implement, and then tell me how they go. If you found this video to be helpful, like, comment, and share. And don't forget to subscribe because we're going to have a lot more coming out for you.